setting new standards in podcast excellence. You have joined the WBT, fully focused on business and taxes. Here is your host, Michael Lodge.
And welcome to the WBT. This is Michael Lodge, and it is President's Day. And it's a holiday for the federal government to take off, and for states to take off also. When I grew up, it was called Washington's birthday. And it's always been that day for me. It's always been kept. In fact, on the Federal Registry, it's still known as Washington's birthday. But somehow, over the years, it's been developed into President's Day. And what I love about it is that, at least when I was young, we would go back and we would examine Washington's birthday and all of the stories about Washington and how he was the first leader of this nation. He was asked by the Continental Congress to go out and fight a war against the British to move them out of the United States so that we could become an independent, united nation. Independent, united nation. And then George Washington became the president, the very first president of the United States. His goal at that time as president was to unite a nation, and all the states began to form and became the United States of America. Now the key word to that, which I feel, is united. And I think on this President's Day, we need to ask ourselves, is our nation united? So I was looking on the internet this morning, and I was noticing on what some news outlets have decided to say about today's president on Washington's birthday. On this President's Day, Huffington Post came out with an article saying, a resolution for President's Day - Trump must go. There was another one that I saw that said, a President's Day without a real president, and that came from the Daily Beast. And then there was another one, for President's Day, here's one vicious, what does it say? It says, here's one vicious, ghastly, or fascinating fact about every U.S. president. So here we have seen news organizations take this day to once again divide the nation by slamming a president of the United States. In some way, it's disgusting. It's like you want to take these people and say, you do not understand what being a citizen of the United States is all about. You don't understand the word united, where everyone unites and helps make this country a better country. We have forces out there today who call themselves socialists, they call themselves liberals, they call themselves whatever they call themselves. But not in one word do they ever say we are united with our country. Instead, what they're trying to do is they're trying to divide you and me. On this President's Day, I want each of you to really focus on, are you united with the rest of the citizens of this great country? Or is your hate, your political hate, so strong that you do not believe in the word united anymore? I wonder about that, because as I look at our country, we have all of these social media outlets and people spouting hate every single day about our country, but they never say that they are united to help our country. It's the biggest issue that I see for this nation right now. We have Democrats not wanting to work with Republicans. We have Republicans not wanting to work with Democrats. We have Americans not wanting to listen to other people. We have people trying to slam the office of the presidency every single moment of the day. And you and I are surrounded by this political hate every single day. But are we, as Americans, united together? And we have to get to that point. If we are not, we have to get to a point where we are strong again and we are united again. We, as Americans, are not going to see eye to eye on everything, because that's what our democracy is all about. But we have to be united in making this country stronger every single day. Now, that doesn't mean that it starts at the federal level. No. It starts with you and I looking at our community, seeing what the needs of our community is, seeing what the needs of our teachers are. Do you realize that teachers are taking money out of their own pocket just so that they can provide your students with a better educational system? They buy the supplies, they buy the videos to play for their students, they buy floor mats, they do all this stuff so that your student can study better. And yet we're not united to help our teachers. It should never come out of their pockets. But since we're not united and we think everything should be given to us, and we should not put anything back in of our time and of our volunteerism and our ability to raise money to help these teachers, the teachers are on their own. But that's what I mean. There are needs within the communities. If you look at California has a 20% poverty rate, and that number is going up every single day. We have people living on the streets. We have homeless walking the streets everywhere in every single city in the state. And that's not just a story in California, but it's in many, many states. But yet we hear about it, but we don't do anything about it. So what it takes to be a United States of America means that we have to get involved in our very own communities. And our communities have got to become stronger. Parents have got to become more involved with their children's lives. Businesses have to work harder at providing more jobs. But if we are not united, if we don't care about our country, and if we're just worried about ourselves, then we are not united. We are a nation divided at the moment because we have allowed ourselves to be divided. We've had too many people coming into this nation who have a totally different view of how a nation should be run. We have politicians who are trying to move our country from a democratic republic into a socialist nation. That's not what America was designed to be when George Washington became the first president of the United States. People had fled to this country because they were tired of the tyrannies of other countries. They were tired of being ruled by monarchs. They were tired of being pushed on what religion they should believe in. They were tired about not having any freedoms to make decisions on their own, and they were tired about the heavy taxation without any representation. They were tired of not being human beings. So they came to this nation and they became united. And then they formed a government that became the United States of America. But now we have become divided because we have let people with stronger voices than the American people kind of take over. On this President's Day, I encourage you to ask the question of yourself, are you united with your community, with your state, with your federal government? And if you see changes that need to be made so that we are united, speak up. That's what democracy is about, is that you speak up. You engage people in conversation. You engage and challenge politicians. But you never allow people to divide us. You do not allow people to divide us on racism, because racism should never be part of division. It is where we become united and we say, okay, we understand there may be racism, and we understand that it's our responsibility as citizens of this great United States of America to become better. But don't throw out the word racism just because it's a political racism. Because political racism is doing so much damage because it's just a word thrown out there to fight people with. It's a hateful word that they throw at people when they don't agree with you. So that's political racism. And it's doing damage to the word racism if there's actual racism happening. Racism should not be a blame word. It should be a word that we know there may be racism, and we're going to work at it. I don't think that Martin Luther King would like the way that we're using the word racism politically. It does damage to the actual word. On this President's Day, understand that we were united. We formed the United States of America through George Washington. And we celebrate it on his birthday, on the greatness of this nation, that we formed this republic, we formed this democracy to be united. It's an important word. Ask yourself today on this President's Day, are you united with your country? If you're going to go around throwing bricks at buildings and marking them up and calling people names and hating people and saying hateful words about presidents and about people and about how they think, you are not united. You are part of the division of this nation. So when I was a child, I loved President's Day. I loved the story of George Washington. I loved the feeling that it was a day that we celebrated a president's birthday. And And we also celebrated the man's life and his dedication to unite a nation. I don't care about your political beliefs, but I want you to focus on a man that united a whole nation and fought back the tyranny of the Brits back then. He fought for the independence of this nation. Are you willing to fight for the independence of this nation? Are you willing to unite with fellow Americans? Or are you going to follow the agenda of hate, political hate, and try to divide this nation? If you're trying to divide the nation, then you truly do not understand what America is all about. You don't understand it. Because if you're trying to destroy a nation through a political agenda, then you do not understand the basics and the foundation of how America was designed and how it was born and how it was fought for. So everybody go out today. Think about the word united. Think about your communities and what their needs are today. Be thankful for presidents who have tried to lead a nation through tough times, in good times, in war, in every economic downturn, in economic upturns. So go out, enjoy today, but think about the word united. I really want you to think about that because it's vital if you want to support this nation. Put your political agendas to the side and figure out what your communities need from you to make our country better and stronger than it was yesterday. Your responsibility. You're part of this great United States of America. I will talk with you soon. This is Mike Lodge with the WBT. Have a great President's Day.
Thank you for listening to the WBT with Michael Lodge. Join us again tomorrow as we explore more about business and taxes. Follow us on iHeartRadio and go to our podcast website at www.wbtpod.com and listen to all of our podcasts and read our blogs.
World of Business and Taxes on WBT.
This is brought to you by Lodge & Co., a business and tax advisory firm where your success is our goal. Call us today toll-free at 888-681-1518 or visit us at www.lodge-co.com and learn more about what we can do for you. Lodge & Co., your source for sound business and tax services.